Greetings and welcome to Light Up, a program that really seeks to build knowledge for the young people and to give us significant steps that we can as parents to help young people grow and thrive and become their own persons in a way that really uplifts them and helps them to be formidable members of our society. Today we are going to talk about a very simple topic but quite significant, and that is around building knowledge through discovery. And again, as always, some of these topics come out of curiosity. I've always wondered when it comes to our behaviors within our community, when it comes to our lifestyles, especially as Ugandans, whether we really take time to do a lot of discovery. And let's just use the whole approach to an act of luxury that most people worldwide do. People usually travel, they go to other countries to discover things, to see things for fun, for luxury, but for others it's part of their living, that they want to discover as much as possible, to learn as much as possible, and it's actually fun. But more significantly is the fact that every time you go out of your comfort zone, every time you go out of your usual normal environment, and you go somewhere you've never been before, and you meet people there, you see the surroundings, you see everything around these places, you discover. And that has a profound impact on your life as a person, in terms of the knowledge you gain, in terms of the learning that you gain, even in simple terms like you treat yourself to visual experiences, that there is a lot of stimulation that brings a lot of joy and fun, and you looking at things for the first time. There, more importantly, you discover and you meet new people whose way of life, whose way of thinking, whose perspective on so many different aspects of our life is totally different from yours. And that is a good thing. Why? Because it expounds your knowledge. It widens the way you look at things based on the fact that you found other people who look at similar things a different kind of way, or the way they look at life in general and the perspectives that they take on certain things. But until you have that ability to put it within your system, to always go out of your comfort zones, go out of your usual environments, and just go somewhere completely different, somewhere new, number one, you prohibit yourself from discovering, and you do yourself a disservice. So, for me, what is even more important and more appealing about this topic is the fact that as parents, when we look at the young people that we are trying to nurture, the young people we are trying to raise, one of the biggest gifts that you can give them is to build their level of curiosity. And there is no any other way of how you can build curiosity among young people than giving them an opportunity to explore. Because when they things, they come across new entities, their level of understanding, their ability to see things differently, the way their minds open up to these new experiences is so profound. And in that, you help them to kind of expound on their knowledge, to widen their thinking, to widen their sight. Okay? But then when it comes to the actual doing, this is when now some of us run into some kind of, I would call it a freeze. Because there is always that generalized fallacy that when we talk about exploration, about traveling and going new places and seeing new things, the first thing someone will think about is, I don't have a passport. I've never been out of my country. So our thinking and our mindset when it comes to exploration, when it comes to discovery, when it comes to tourism or to tour other places, we just want to go beyond our national borders. As if to say that where we are, there isn't so much that we haven't seen, so much that we know nothing about, so much that can actually stimulate us in ways we've never even thought about. Take Uganda as an example. I'm sure you, as a person watching, you have within your social circles friends, people who've never really moved beyond their homes. Born in a certain place, say in the city or in a certain district or in a certain village, they've grown there, literally started their own families from there, and they're growing old from there. Probably will be buried in the same place. Okay? You ask so many Ugandans, where have you been in Uganda? And someone has not even labored to go as far as 50 miles outside their social environment. They've never done that. Okay? And you look at a country like ours, Uganda, it's full of a lot. It offers a lot that you can see and be excited. So if you think as a parent that, okay, I don't have the means, but others, I don't have the means to take my children beyond Uganda, I can still tell you there is so much knowledge in terms of what these young people are going to discover if you just move around this country. It's such a big country that I promise you, it will take you quite some time to move to every corner of Uganda. Let me give you an example. My mom comes from the islands, and that is Sese Islands in Lake Victoria. Okay? For someone who has never even taken an interest to know that they're islands, that it's one of the best places you can visit. It's a place with beautiful beaches. Sese Islands in Lake Victoria comprises of more than 80 islands in itself. Okay? And these are places where you can go and see a lot, learn a lot. One of the things that I actually discovered when I went there for the first time, if you look at silverfish mukene, you might sit there as a person in your office, in your home, and you wonder, how is this small fish? The fishermen, what do they actually do? And for me as a person who went there and traveled with fishermen on night's end, I saw something that was so spectacular, that the way that they harvest this fish is when the moon is not out. So they take these hurricane bright lights, put them in the water, and then these silverfish are attracted to these lights. And when they come around these lights, something spectacular happens. They start a dance in a circle. So they go around, you'll see hordes and hordes of silverfish running at terrific speeds in a huge circle. And it can be overwhelming, you know, but it can also be exciting. And then you see the ways in which they try to harvest and bring it in the boat. And then you see the other ways of fishing in the islands. And you meet the beautiful people there, you know. And that is an experience on its own in that regard. Okay? But if you go around Uganda, you'll find national parks. We have 10 plus of these. We have other lakes in this country. We have green forests. We have people who live in the rural areas. So imagine and ask yourself, if I decided to take my children to northern Uganda, what would I find? You're going to find beautiful people there. You're going to find a lot of green in West Nile. You're going to see a lot of agriculture that's ongoing there. And you're going to be excited and you're going to be informed. If you decide to go to Western Uganda, you're going to see a lot of cattle keeping. You're going to see banana plantations that go as vast as your eyesight, you know. South Central Buganda area, a lot on offer. Go to Eastern Uganda, there's just going to be a lot. What am I trying to say here is that if you have the opportunity to take your child anywhere in Uganda, Start today. Make it part of your culture. Make it part of your social activities. Because in that, as a sensei, as a teacher, you're helping them to learn a lot more about their country, but they're also opening up to so many things that they've never seen, they've never experienced. In as far as basic things like color, the land terrain, mountains, drylands, water, lakes, everything. If you go to the national parks, of course you're going to see a lot of wild animals, and it's going to be quite an experience, And if you can, maybe later on then think beyond Uganda. And of course out there's just going to be a lot on offer. At the end of the day, when we talk about the power of discovery, we talk about knowledge. We talk about how young people can learn so much about life by just being exposed to different setups and different environments. And sometimes this doesn't even require you to go as far as 5 miles. I know of so many young people, when I meet them in schools, who will tell you that we live in our homes, in our visakate, and we never leave these homes. Meaning that such a young person doesn't even know the first thing about the environment. They've never seen it at a higher topography. They only know that when I get out of the house, out of the gate, this is the road that takes me to the main road, and that's it. They don't even know that behind them there is a fresh water spring. And I think that is something that we really need to change. Curiosity is a very good thing, and if you can help young people to expound and build their knowledge through discovery, that can be a good thing. Why I talked about tourism, why I talked about going and visiting places, is because that is one of the most profound practical ways of how you can achieve this in a fun field, but also engageful way. And that can really be profound for a young person. Nevertheless, it can also be fun for you. And I hope you can take that piece of advice and start living by it. See you next time. Thanks for watching.